Yeah, this particular problem here, the average price of a low-fare airline ticket rose from $250 in 1988 to $450 in 2012. Calculate the relative change in price from 1988 to 2012 and compare it to the overall rate of inflation as measured by the Consumer Price Index. So the first thing they want us to do is find the relative change in price. The relative change in price is the absolute change in comparison to the reference value as shown in the following formula. Okay. So what they're looking at here is the amount of the price change between 1988 and 2012 divided by the original price in 1988. So the formula for relative change is going to be the absolute change divided by the reference value, the original value here in this case. So we can look at it as being the new value minus the old value divided by the old value. In this case here, we have the 2012 price minus the 1988 price divided by the 1988 price. It should be 450 minus 250. Divided by 250, which gives me a 0.8, which is the same thing as, 0.8. Okay. So we found the relative change. Okay. So they want us to find the rate of inflation compared to the rate of inflation. So we have to find the rate of inflation here. So the relative change here. So we have the Consumer Price Index for 2012 minus Consumer Price Index for 1988 divided by the Consumer Price Index for 1988. So I have the Consumer Price Index for 2012 minus the Consumer Price Index for 1988 divided by the Consumer Price Index for 1988. Okay. And from the table, we see that the Consumer Price Index for 1988 was 118. From the table, we see the Consumer Price Index for 2012 was 229.6. So you plug into our formula. This gives me a 0.94, which is 94%. And that's 80% up there. Yeah. And then he asks us to compare the two. Compare it. When they say compare it, they say compare the relative change to the rate of inflation. And so since the low-fare airline ticket increased by about 80%, while the overall rate of inflation was 94%, the change in low airfare ticket places was less than the overall rate of inflation. So the key phrase there is less than. That's one answer there. And then the other answer is here. And the other answer is here.